Alright, Shalom. Call Lord Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who will will, peace and salutations to you brothers that's pushing this word in truth and sincerity, and you hopefully lit. And you sisters that watch too, Shalom. This video here is going to be on the wild olive tree and the branches broken off being grafted in. They are Israelites. So the whole being grafted in is nothing to do with, as the world or the Christian church or Roman Catholics call it, the Gentiles, meaning the other nations. No, those Gentiles being grafted in are Israelites. And I'm proving to you in the scriptures. So first we're going to get the scripture where it talks about being grafted in. This is Romans chapter 11. Let me get that real quick. And I'm going to start at 17. Romans chapter 11, 17. And if some of the branches be broken off, and thou being a wild olive tree wert grafted in among them, and with them partakest of the root and fatness of the olive tree. Boast not against the branches, but if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. Thou wilt say then, the branches were broken off, that I might be grafted in. Well, because of unbelief they were broken off. And thou standest by faith, be not high-minded, but fear. Now, the branches that were broken off were the house of Israel. They were broken off. They were cast off. They were said to the Lord said, you are not my people. So they were broken off from a part of being the Most High's people. Verse 21. For if the Most High spare not the natural branches, take heed, lest he also spare not thee. Behold, therefore, the goodness and severity of the Most High, on them which fail, severity, but toward thee goodness, if thou continue in his goodness, otherwise thou also shalt be cut off. And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in. For the Most High is able to graft them in again. For if thou wert cut out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, wert grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree? Now, it says that they were the natural branches, so that lets you know that like, you can't say that because the Jews, as they say, rejected Jesus, as they call him, that he went to the Gentiles. No, this says the natural branches. How much more shall these, which be the natural branches? Because they were their natural branches, because they were already a part of the olive tree. So it's referring to the house of Israel. You know, the whole house of Israel consisted of the southern kingdom, the house of Judah, northern kingdom, house of Israel. But the house of Israel, the northern kingdom, were broken off. They were cast off. So they were, they became the branches that were broken off. So they were already a part of the whole house of Israel. They were already a part. They belonged to the Most High already. But they were broken off. And he can graft them in again. And that's what it's talking about. That's why the natural branches are the house of Israel. Alright, let's go to Zechariah. Let's see. Chapter 4, and I'm going to start at verse 11. It says, Then answered I and said unto him, What are these two olive trees? house of Israel, house of Judah, upon the right side of the candlestick, and upon the left side thereof. And I answered again and said unto him, What be these 2 olive branches, which through the golden pipes empty the golden oil out of themselves? And he answered me and said, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my Lord. Then said he, These are the 2 anointed ones that stand by the Lord of the whole earth. Who are those 2 anointed ones? The house of Israel and the house of Judah. Let's go to Hosea chapter 14. I'll start at verse 5. It says, I will be as the dew unto Israel. He shall grow as the lily, and cast forth his roots as Lebanon. His branches shall spread, and his beauty shall be as the olive tree, and his smell as Lebanon. Now, those 2 scriptures I just read from Hosea and Zechariah, the olive tree is referred to Israel. Verse 7. They that dwell under his shadow shall return. They shall revive as the corn, and grow as the vine. The scent thereof shall be as the wine of Lebanon. Ephraim represents the house of Israel, the northern kingdom, shall say, What have I to do any more with idols? Meaning they put them away. I have heard him and observed him. I am like a green fir tree. From me as is thy fruit found. Who is wise, and he shall understand these things, prudent, and he shall know them. For the ways of the Most High are right, and the just shall walk in them, but the transgressor shall fall therein. Now, that's how, the Most High gonna bring us back, is by through his son, through Yahushua. Let's see. Now we're going to show where Israel, the house of Israel, was cut off. It's Jeremiah chapter 3. We'll start at verse 6. The Most High said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, Hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel hath done? She is gone up upon every high mountain, under every green tree, and there have played the harlot. How did they play the harlot? Through worshiping idols. And I said, after she had done all these things, turn thou unto me. But she returned not, and her treacherous sister Judah saw it. House of Israel, house of Judah, both went off. The whole house of Israel went off. But check this out. And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorcement. This is where the house of Israel was cut off. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. But I'm going to read it again. Verse 8. And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorcement. And it came to pass, through the lightness of her whoredom, that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and stocks, idols. What are idols made out of? Wood, stones, stock, anything of this earth that you can put together, it's an idol. Anything you put above the Most High power Yahweh is an idol. Anything that are worshiping the creation over the creator is idol worship. Verse 10. And yet for all this her treacherous sister Judah hath not turned unto me with her whole heart, but feignedly, saith the Most High. And the Most High said unto me, the backsliding Israel hath justified herself more than treacherous Judah. But this is where Israel was cut off. Now, you just get even more proof in Hosea. It's going to be Hosea chapter 1, start at verse 4. It says, And the Most High said unto him, Call his name Jezreel, For yet a little while I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel. And it shall come to pass at that day that I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel. And she conceived and bare a daughter. And the Most High said unto him, Call her name Loruhamah, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away. This was them being cut off again. But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, and I will save them by the Most High, by Yahweh their power. And I will not save them by bow, nor sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen. Now that's actually talking about now. That second deliverance, how he's gonna deliver us from Babylon the Great. He's not gonna do it by bow, sword, or battle, war, horses, horsemen. So we're not looking for, so he's not gonna save us through guns and tanks and missiles and bombs and all things of that sort. It's gonna be a spiritual deliverance. It's gonna be something high level, because that guns, tanks, bombs, and all that kind of stuff, that's carnal stuff. That's low level stuff. That's low vibrational stuff. But him coming with the chariots, with the whole host of heaven, the angels, Yahweh coming. So he ain't gonna lift up neither no sword nor any instrument of war, but gonna destroy them by the breath of his mouth. Come on, man. That's amazing. That's what we're looking for. So these guns are not gonna save you. But verse 8. Now when she had weaned Loruhamah, she conceived and bare a son. Then said the Most High, call his name Lo-Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your power. Yet, check this out, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living power. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel. So this is verse 10. I'm just skipping down where it says, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God, the living power. There is where they were grafted back in. They were grafted in to the olive tree. This is Hosea chapter 2, verse 23. And I will sow her unto me in the earth, and I will have mercy upon her that had not obtained mercy. And who had not obtained mercy? The house of Israel. And I will say to them which were not my people, Thou art my people, and they shall say, Thou art my power, Thou art my God. And that is the house of Israel being grafted in. So just went through a couple of scriptures proving that the wild olive tree, which is the house of Israel, and the branches broken off, is which is the wild olive tree, the whole house of Israel. The branches being broken off represented the house of Israel, the northern kingdom, and the branches being grafted back in, which are Israelites, represent the house of Israel. So I hope you can see that. Hope you got some edification out of it, and hope you learned something. So shalom.